Welcome to the MSAA Arizona State Specific Policy presentation. My name is Bethany Spangenberg and I am the Director of Alternate Assessment for the Arizona Department of Education. This presentation will explain Arizona State Specific Policy for MSAA administration. This information is not found in the MSAA Test Administration Directions nor the MSAA training modules. It is the responsibility of the Alternate Assessment Test Coordinator to be familiar with these policies. Only the ADE Alternate Assessment Unit adds students to the MSAA system. This is similar to the process for adding students to MSAA Science this year. Please call or email the Alternate Assessment Unit to add any transfer students. If a student is not a transfer student but had alternate assessment eligibility determination before the close of the student selector application, the Alternate Assessment Test Coordinator must send a letter signed by the test coordinator and the superintendent or charter holder. The letter will include SSIDs of students to be added to the MSAA system, as well as an explanation for missing the students in the selection process and steps the LEA will take to correct the issue. If a student is determined eligible for alternate assessment after November 29th, the IEP team is making the determination for the following school year to allow for suitable instructional time before testing windows open. This is consistent with the eligibility guidance and the eligibility form. One of the most common questions we get is regarding who can administer MSAA. Arizona allows any district employee, including contract employees, who have completed training and passed the final quiz and who is familiar to the student to administer MSAA. LEAs have shared some roles they have used to support administration, including paraprofessionals and speech therapists. Due to creating a secure and comfortable environment, a relative of the student may not administer MSAA. In MSAA, tests are closed only for students who do not have an observable mode of communication. We have been tracking cohorts of students with closed tests and identified a need to update our policy because many tests are closed for students with testing history of completed tests or for students who have responded in the system before the test is closed. Alternate assessment test coordinators must complete the test coordinator training before closing a test. One training module addresses the student response check and the early stopping rule specifically. This helps to clarify when to close a test. Furthermore, test coordinators must observe administration. This gives the test coordinator an understanding of the student needs and an opportunity to support the test administrator in providing instruction and supports to increase communication skills. After observing the administration, the test coordinator will confirm that at least one and preferably both content areas are in the in-progress status. This shows that the test was launched in order to administer the first 4 items required before closing the test. Then the test coordinator will confirm with the test administrator that no responses have been recorded in either content area and can close the test for both content areas. If the student provided any responses, even incorrect responses, the test cannot be closed. The test administrator will continue to administer the test and submit any responses that were provided. After all requirements are met for closing the test coordinator will discuss communication goals and support the test administrator with communication instruction. Failure to follow this process may lead to test invalidation. Test security is important to the validity of the assessment. Test coordinators submitted their test security agreement form when they were designated as the alternate assessment test coordinator, usually in the summer or fall. The test security agreement form for test administrators is collected by the alternate assessment test coordinator, usually during training. The forms are retained at the LEA. Do not submit these to ADE. Test coordinators will submit incident reports for MSAA by emailing the Alternate Assessment Unit inbox or the Director of Alternate Assessment. Include the SSID only of the student and a description of the incident. Do not use the MSAA Science Incident Report for MSAA. Although creating classrooms is an option in the MSAA system, ADE does not recommend using them for a few reasons. The time it takes to set up classrooms and move teachers and students into the classrooms is usually not worth the effort. Also, if students have more than one test administrator because they have separate content area teachers or because the district resources provide additional testing support, it is more difficult to get the right students and test administrators in the right place in the system. However, there may be a specific need at your LEA that classrooms can be used as a benefit. If you think you need to add classrooms, please contact us. Keep in mind that any changes to student lists will not be managed by ADE at the classroom level. It will be the responsibility of the test coordinator to maintain and manage classrooms. The use of graphic organizers seems to lead to some confusion. For MSAA, students may use their own graphic organizer for the writing prompt. The graphic organizer must be familiar to the student. Furthermore, the item must be administered exactly as laid out in the directions for test administration. Each test coordinator is responsible for observing one administration for each LEA. An observation protocol has been developed to take notes during the observation. The test coordinator will then use the link to the Google form to submit the notes to ADE. ADE also conducts observations and uses consultants to conduct additional observations. It is the responsibility of the alternate assessment test coordinator to facilitate scheduling of all observations. Observations are a peer review requirement. If a test administrator is new, an observation might be scheduled to support the test administrator during administration. In the past, many new test administrators are nervous about observations. This is a great opportunity for the test administrator to receive immediate feedback and suggestions to improve the testing experience. Observations are not evaluations. Thank you for reviewing the MSAA Arizona state-specific policy. Please contact us with any further questions.